There is something that happens to me every now and then. I cannot control it once it gets hold of me. I'll be going about my day and suddenly it happens. I feel the fear, panic, and I'm left breathless. Everything seems dark. I have to fight to get back control over my body and mind. It can last a minute or much longer. When I had that first episode, I didn't understand what was happening to me. I later learned that I was having a panic attack and that it was the result of a post-traumatic stress disorder. It's an anxiety disorder that can be caused by distressing or traumatic events. My PTSD is something I never talked about because it was tied to memories from growing up in Kigali, Rwanda. But when I look back, I can see the different events that led to it. Some go as far back as when I was a toddler. It was me, my mother, and my little brother Junior. But one day, Junior developed a nasty cough, and then he was gone. I remember the sadness. The other kids I played with in the neighborhood had a sister or a brother, and suddenly, I had none. With Junior gone, it was now just my mom and me. She was my everything. She was beautiful and smelled like sunshine. But over time, I started noticing that she was changing. She was getting thinner, and her skin didn't feel the same to me. At weekends, she sometimes visited the hospital, but now she was going there all the time. The last memory of her is me sitting on the bed with her, holding my hand and telling me that everything was going to be okay. The most important person in my life was soon gone. I went to live with my aunt's family, and for a while, things were good. It had now been 3 years. Then one night, heavy gunfire interrupted a quiet family dinner. War had come to Kigali, the capital. One moment we were getting ready to return to school, the next, frantically packing and driving out of the city in silence, surrounded by the sound of gunfire and bullets whizzing around us. We had now been in Gisenyi for 3 months. It felt like it was as far as we could get from Kigali. We were waiting, hoping for life to get back to normal, but it was never to be. A carnage like we had never known was all around. We were hearing about the killings that were happening all over the country. A genocide that will see more than 800,000 people murdered in just 100 days. I remember waking up one morning to a sea of people outside our front window, moving, fleeing, carrying mattresses, babies, bags. Soon we joined them too, crossing into Goma in the DRC. A lot happened in Goma. I became a refugee. Our life was tough. Homelessness, hopelessness, fighting for survival. And I was in this survival mode for a very long time. It was only then in a small village in northern Norway that I felt safe. And it was then too that the panic attacks started. PTSD can occur days, weeks, months, or even years after the event, and it affects everyone differently. Some people have nightmares and flashbacks. I have my panic attacks. I have now learned the various ways to help me deal with them when they come. There are more people suffering and living with PTSD than we will ever know, either because there is no access to proper care where they live, or because of the shame that comes with saying that you suffer from a mental health illness. We must end the silence. We must end the stigma so that more people can open up and get the help and care they need.